I'm hitting the point where in the show where you're just seeing a lot of, like, he's got pictures of him on the wall and stuff.
Yeah.
Talking about him a lot more, and you see his cars and like the old cars. And I just started just thinking about, like, God, Pat Morita's legacy is really weird. It's weird. Like, it's great. It's not a bad legacy, but I just have
why is it weird though? Because it's mostly Karate Kid. I mean, that's
what I'm talking about, though.
I don't feel like people really concentrate on the comedy thing at all. You know? And I know what you're saying. He wanted to be a comedian. I understand.
Yes, it's weird in terms of, like, I don't think Pat Morita, 20-year-old Pat Morita, 30-year-old Pat Morita, 40-year-old Pat Morita looked at himself and said, my legacy one day will be as a dramatic actor playing a karate master. I
mean, if he got typecast, sort of, if you count.
Oh, for sure. He definitely did. Yeah. He definitely did.
I guess, but, like, do you consider Robin Williams' career that weird? Because, like,
he's a comedian who did comedy acting mostly.
But he did a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama in there.
I mean, sure. I guess because Pat Morita is known so singularly for basically one thing.
Yes.
That's the thing. Robin Williams is known for lots of shit.
I consider Happy Days still something he's known for.
Okay.
Yeah, he owned, like, the restaurant.
The place, the diner, or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
For, like, half the show. I don't think he was in the whole show.
Right, he wasn't. And it was a pretty side character. So
Yeah, it wasn't main character or anything like that. You're right. I mean, but then again, it's a legacy that has something that hasn't died ever.
So yeah, just
it's
Ralph
really...
Macchio looking with such reverence at these pictures of Pat Morita, and of course I'm thinking to myself, are there shots from the movie, or is this just a generic, like, actor photo that Pat Morita had?
Right. I saw something where they were, like, asking if there's any deleted scenes that they could use in the show, and William Zabka was being asked, and he obviously doesn't.
He wouldn't know
any clue about what's available still, but he talked about stuff they shot that wasn't in the movie, and I was like, they could write that in, sure, to show that as a flashback.
They've done some of that.
Yeah.
There do seem to be. There's a shot of him remembering getting knocked to the floor in the tournament, and the angle didn't look like it was an angle from the movie, which makes me think it was either newly shot with, because you never see the face, so it could be another actor with just the blonde hair.
Right.
Or it was footage that wasn't used from a different angle of the same shot that just wasn't used. Yeah.
Well,
so I've now seen episodes with Kreese in it, and he's just this wrinkly old bastard. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I know. Remember, I haven't seen it for like 2 years, but I need to. I'll probably actually just rewatch it. But
I'm only a few episodes in, and in the second season, and already just trying to look up information about, like, songs in the show. I've had the internet ruin a few things that I know are going to happen this season, which bums me out. But it's all right.
You mean
it's a great
the
show
second season?
Second season, right?
Yeah, it's like the #1 show in America now.
No way.
Yeah, like the second it moved to. I just read that before I got on here with you. It's like it went from, like, a YouTube success to, like, the #1 show in America. Also,
it might
everybody's
be the #1 show on Netflix. It might be the #1 show on Netflix.
Well, I mean, with the numbers, with Netflix's numbers versus other numbers, they don't share their numbers,
right?
But they say that it's more. So
okay, damn.
Whatever, because YouTube's not making any more. They're not doing it anymore. They're not, like, producing.
Are they making any original content anymore?
No, they stopped. That's why they
tried briefly. They had the Poppy Show, and they had Cobra Kai, and I don't know what else they had.
They had a few other things. Remember that? Okay. You know that comedian Anna Akana? She had a show on there for a while. That she was. Her
name was Ann Akonda.
Anna Akana, not Akonda.
That's pretty close, though.
Yeah. Right. She's, like, friends with Mike Diva. She does stuff with Mike Diva. Okay. But she had a show for a while, and then there was a few other ones, but I guess it all...
Did Mike Diva have a show? Or
I don't
Smosh?
think... No.
Like, Smosh have a show?
Diva had a show, but it wasn't YouTube Red.
Okay.
You know, like, he's done some really... He directed that Lonely Island special.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he went from YouTube...
Yeah, Diva's gotten pretty
that, good. And now he was working on Will Smith's, like, Instagram channel and stuff.
Speaking of Will Smith,
yeah,
he's a producer of fucking Cobra Kai, which is weird. Just I don't think of Will Smith and Cobra Kai is like at all.
His son was the other Karate Kid.
Oh shit!
Maybe
There's the
that's
connection.
why. I don't know.
One of the other producers is Caleb Pinkett, presumably Jada's brother or cousin. But yeah, so like a Pinkett and a Smith are both producers. It's in the opening credits, and I just like it's got to be the Will Smith. There's no way Will Smith next to a Pinkett is a different Will Smith. So.
God, you remember like we were talking yesterday about like the DC universe having different multiverses. Like, well, like they have to bring Jaden in.
Dude, like I saw when I was trying to figure out whether Hilary Swank would ever do it.
Yeah.
It said a lot of the articles were like, we don't know if Hilary Swank will ever be in it, but we did confirm with the creators that the next Karate Kid is canon with Cobra Kai. I was like, canon? We're talking about Karate Kid canon?
But it is canon because Pat Morita's in it. It has to be canon. There's no argument.
But just to even have a discussion as to what we're in a world where we need to discuss whether media is Karate Kid.
You're right. But that's a dumb thing to even ask.
Of course.
Pat Morita in the he's the same character.
I don't think they were even asked. I think they were just like, hey, would you ever have Hilary Swank? And they were like, well, we don't know, but I mean, she is in the canon, so it could happen. It was probably like that.
She'll be on like a walk on. She won't do like an arc or anything. I don't think.
No, she should show up for like 1 or 2 episodes. She shows up.
If she did an arc, amazing.
Yes.
Like
she's a 3-episode arc. I want a 3-episode arc. That's what I want.
Whole season. She's the villain. She's mad that no one cares about her and everyone cares about Daniel LaRusso.
Johnny and Danny have to team up to take her down because like they're like, yeah, you're an asshole and I'm an asshole, but she's worse.
Well, what if she hated Daniel because she felt that he never truly appreciated Pat. Mr.
Miyagi, right? And he's
I truly loved him, but you were his fucking star,
right?
You know, like something like that. I don't know. They'd have to make up what happened after the next Karate Kid. The interviewer was like,
the interviewer. I only read it, so I don't hear how she said this. But the interviewer was like, people just want to see the showdown between you and Machio, and she goes, "Oh yeah, the showdown." I don't know why would she say that? So, but I would see.
I mean she's gonna lose.
No, why would she lose?
Not because she couldn't actually beat up Ralph. She could definitely beat up Ralph.
I just think she has more fighting training. She's been in a lot more fighting movies than Machio.
Right, but in the universe of Cobra Kai, Daniel LaRusso is going to come out on top, probably.
He'd have to. They probably.
The next Karate Kid's going to come in and own it.
She'd have to win the first fight.
Yeah. So it's like a Rocky movie type of thing where she wins and then he has to bolster himself and then he.
Right. And she's like, you didn't learn the true lessons of Miyagi, you know?
Who's the true pupil? What a weird thing. I would watch.
She goes over to the wall, grabs the picture. This is mine now.
And eats it. Would totally watch it. I don't know why.
Swanky very much. She says her own name.
That's when the show is going. It's over.
Right, it's over.
Like 8th season. Right. Still,
anyway,
I would totally watch it. I would totally watch her come back. And
I think if she watched it, she'd want to be a part of it.
Since it was in theaters, which was 94.
I was talking to Justin about this, just making terrible Swank puns.
Yeah,
and he was like, "I guess it was okay." I was like, "Oh, dude, it was awesome. It was running on a full swank of gas." He was like, "Fuck you, dude."
Wait, what was okay though?
Next Karate Kid. I was saying it was a good movie, but I don't really remember it. I was just trying to get to trying to get to the line about a full swank of gas. So
there's got to be a small sect of people who are like, "That's the best Karate Kid movie."
Of course, because there was somebody who was when I was in a band with guys 10 years younger than me, up to 12 years younger than me. They feel about the prequels like other people feel about the original Star Wars because it was their childhood film.
I mean, to some degree, I think I have nostalgia for it even now. You know what I mean?
A little bit.
It was such a great time in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't like the Disney movies.
Right. I have.
So it's like this weird thing.
I have fond memories of the hype and the atmosphere around it.
Right. What was better than going to episode 1 with your friends? That was like
insane.
intense. Like we didn't know what we were gonna see. Now,
Right.
couldn't live up to what I thought it was gonna. You know what I mean? Like
right, but
that,
like a 22-year-old right now has like warm fuzzies about the prequels more than the originals in a lot of ways.
I could see that. Look,
and that's going to happen with the 3 that just happened. And so yeah, I'm sure there was some kids who their first Karate Kid was Next Karate Kid, and then trying to go back and watching the first 3, they look like old movies.
Karate Kid to Star Wars is such a
Star Wars. I know. But it was a 4-movie franchise that did get a reboot. So like,
it's, you know what, I would think more than Star Wars of a comparison. It's just the fact that, and this, I would say I'm a victim of this too. Like it's the one that was on television a lot when you were watching television. It's on TBS every weekend and you're sitting in front of your TV as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I wonder what year that movie was.
I think Next Karate Kid's mid to late 90s. So
okay.
Whenever that kid was like watching Karate Kid movies, that's the one that was on all the time. And that to them, it's like how you once told me that, was it you, that you consider Ghostbusters 2 your favorite Ghostbusters movie?
Shannon. It's Shannon.
It's Shannon. And that's because that's the one she watched the most, like
probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that you like associate with.
She likes the music better. She likes she loves Vigo. She loves Vigo's assistant. Like everything about 2 is just like her favorite. So
does she? Do you know?
I know. I don't know what you said, but I heard Ghostbusters 2. Anyway,
we weren't insulting it.
Yeah, we weren't insulting it.
Did you ever read that article about the truth about the guy who played Vigo? Did you ever read that thing?
Oh yeah. And I watched Brendan Hardesty's thing too.
Right. Just the fact that it's Max von Sydow voice, and like, and the guy's like life was just awful. Yeah,
that guy's life should be a movie, and it should be played by Mickey Rourke, and Mickey Rourke should play the biopic about that guy.
I mean, if Vigo ever came back and Mickey Rourke played him, like his son or something,
son of Vigo.
No. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Afterlife might have something like that. Who knows?
And he's named Oscar. The son of Vigo should be named Oscar.
Oh yeah,
right.
Wonder what that kid's doing. They could probably get him to do something.
He's probably not an actor. He's he's some guy.
He's just some guy. Some guys. Or see Baby from Ghostbusters 2. He's like a dentist. Yes. Like
who recognizes him?
Like the person in his chair doesn't want his teeth done or anything. He's like so.
Or he's about to get his teeth done. He's like, wait a minute. Are you the kid who played Oscar in Ghostbusters?
You couldn't recognize.
I know, of course not. Right, but he's like, yes, and he's like, yeah, I'm not working on my teeth. He leaves. Like, why? Why
does that preclude business?
Why does that preclude me from being a dentist?
Well, the guy who played Charlie in Charlie's Chocolate Factory is a dentist.
Oh, holy shit! Yeah, that's right. Which is hilarious, really. That's
right,
great.
And he doesn't act. Obviously.
A candy guy on teeth. That's amazing.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, neither did I. I knew that fact, but
he devoted the rest of his life
to cavity
to counteract the candy that he destroyed all these children's teeth.
Oh man,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Something I was gonna bring up Cobra Kai for some other dumb reason, but
awkward pauses are fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I said words though. Do you think? You know how like when Ghostbusters hit the all-female Ghostbusters and there was like backlash, do you think that happened with Next Karate Kid and we were just too young to hear it, or do you think it didn't happen?
No, I don't think it happened.
Okay.
No, because that would have to have the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That would have to have the internet. The only reason all that happened was the internet. I mean,
that's true.
The internet brings together people who agree on the same thing, horrible or good, right? So
then you do believe there were probably little separate pockets of individuals who were like, not my Karate Kid. You know?
Sure. I mean, people were pissed in the 90s about affirmative action and stuff. I'm sure those people were like, what, the Karate Kid's a woman now? But there wasn't like a movement. They just were like, huh. Right. And that was it. It wasn't anything else.
I also, though,
people were pissed about the Bill and Ted stuff. I told you.
That's true. Well, people are pissed about it.
But they called it woke. And it has an agenda. Like I saw people like literally tweeting Alex Winter saying you have an agenda with your movie.
Okay.
Isn't that insane? Like that's kind of nuts that I don't believe I lived to see the day where Bill and Ted was considered having an agenda.
Right.
Yeah.
And like if they were male, there wouldn't be an agenda. Like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
Well, no, I'm now just trying to think, like, let's suppose there was somebody mad about Hilary Swank being Karate Kid. Like, does the
Yeah.
fact that it was called, obviously this is all theory,
Yes.
but is the fact that it was called The Next Karate Kid, as in, like, okay, well, not replacing Daniel LaRusso so much as Danny went on to do something and this character's coming in. Like, they didn't name it The Karate Kid. They didn't, like, try to restart everything. It's just part of the same lineage. You
less insulting than the Jaden Smith Karate Kid, because
right.
And that's, I don't even know if his name was Daniel LaRusso in that. I've never saw it. I never saw the.
Neither did I.
Right. So I have no idea if his name was Daniel LaRusso, which he wouldn't be because it's an Italian name. It's Cecily Italian. But it's less insulting than that, I guess, since now it's like, no, he's the Karate Kid now versus she follows in.
She's
LaRusso's
another
footsteps.
Karate Kid.
Right. I mean, Mr. Miyagi's not dead and Daniel has to grow up. So what does Mr. Miyagi do? Oh, he finds another pupil, right? He's probably been making Karate Kids for years. Like every 5 years.
Oh, dude, Cobra Kai did that where it's like, I was his first student.
Right.
It's like, oh shit,
Right. I mean, technically, he didn't die in the next Karate Kid, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he did. So there could have been maybe two.
No, he didn't
more?
die because it's weird. In the show, his gravestone says he died in 2011, but Pat Morita died in 2007. So it's I was like, why do they just make like his actual death date his death date? But they didn't. He died in 2017.
Maybe they had some like dialogue that they had to fix or something, and they
right. Maybe maybe there's going to be a reason why he had to be alive 9 years ago. Like he met his kid at some point, like his kid has to remember who Mr. Miyagi was or something.
The next
remember you met him when you were 4 or something.
I'm actually looking up when the next Karate Kid came.
I'm going to guess 96. No. Because it was 96.
I'm going to guess 94.
Okay.
The next Karate Kid. 94.
I would have been 12.
94.
Damn, dude.
I was right. Done. Yeah. So so that movie ends. He lives until 2011 in the show. It's continuity-wise.
Continuity-wise, he lives for another.
That's like enough time for 3, even 4 more Karate Kids. Like, you know what I mean? He's got to troll the schoolyards.
Right. Can you imagine if they start like doing some weird retcon where like Kreese is like, I was his first pupil. It's like, wait a minute. That was never brought up in the first Karate Kid that you were his pupil,
That's really weird. That's like really, you could destroy the Karate Kid if you do something like that,
Yeah, you could.
You make really it like, or like Kreese is like, I was his son.
Like,
it's like,
why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
Like not only do you not look like him,
right, at all.
Now you fucked the original movie up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they're already adding in some backstory, but none of it's fucking the movie up. So, but they could really just ruin everything.
They could. Well, as long as they don't go before the movie,
They do a little bit.
They do a little bit, but they
show Johnny as a kid.
Yeah.
Getting bullied by his stepdad and by Kreese. So
which was really good if I remember, because it like makes you sympathize for him if you watch the movie again.
Yeah. So in that way, they do recontextualize the film a little bit. I really like the episode that I do like the episode that I quoted to you about Speedwagon, because they like bond in that episode briefly, and it's kind of they realize kind of how similar they are. It's a nice episode.
Yeah. Man, if anyone's listening to this and they haven't watched Cobra Kai,
well, I'm ruining all of it. But I mean, season 2 ended like a year ago, so
I'm
catching up now.
You talk about Cobra Kai, or we talk about politics, and Cobra Kai is way less complicated.
Yeah, and far more enjoyable.
Possibly more important in the long run, because Cobra Kai will live forever.
Right, as an
America won't.
Jesus.
Cobra Kai will outlive America, so it's fine. Yeah.
I wish I had a more creative background. I'm not going to change it now, but your background is nice.
I just did it because this room is boring. It bores me. So
I mean, is this room exciting you?
No. I kind of like when I always have this cone hat thing.
Right.
So yeah, like so I guess I don't even know what I'm doing with this. I just want to have a reason to talk to people.
Yeah.
Because
You're lonely. You're lonely.
Well, yeah, dude, you live with your mom at 38. What the fuck are you supposed to do anymore? I'm stuck at home at 38, not at my house. Anyway, so yeah, Thundergrunt's always had the like highly formatted shows. That's why I wanted to just bullshit because other people do it.
Yeah.
Other people have podcasts that just don't do anything.
What's the most successful just kind of bullshitting podcast? Let's not count
Joe
Rogan, because he has at least oftentimes celebrities and stuff that
at this point he's just the top podcast, so you can't count him for anything.
Right.
I think he's the most successful podcaster ever so far.
Are we not counting like even Serial or something like that? Like,
Well, that's not just bullshitting though.
No. But you just said most successful podcast, period. So I'm trying to say
podcaster personality.
Oh. Okay.
He's obviously that, I would say.
Yeah.
Without question. I mean, Spotify doesn't pay $100 million for the second guy.
I didn't realize that's how much he was making. That's
yeah.
How many more years does he have to do it? Did he say?
No, I don't know.
Be curious to know that.
But they're building him a whole studio and everything in Houston. So
Jesus.
As far as bullshitting podcasts, it's got to be a comedian of some sort because that's what comedian podcasts are.
Right, like Maron's or Burroughs or something.
Probably Maron, actually.
Yeah, because he was the big name in podcasts like 10 years ago or something.
I think the only difference is that Maron, he doesn't do the. I mean, Rogan has there's two sides to his show. It's like the comedians and his buddies and that ilk. Entertainers, and then he has the the politics and the scientists and the crazoids and the Alex Joneses and stuff. Like Maron doesn't do that.
He just has comedians, right?
Maron had Obama on, but like he doesn't like talk to Edward Snowden or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's not doing that.
I mean, if you have the opportunity to get a president on, you're gonna do it. Of course. Ratings. And just it's interesting.
I also think that Maron's a different type of interviewer completely. Like he wants to ask you about your childhood, whereas like Rogan asked you about like what you're doing right now. You know what I mean? I've
never listened to Maron. I've listened to Rogan.
Whenever I listen to Maron, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for them not to talk about their childhood anymore. That's every episode. Not that he's not awesome. I love Maron, but I don't want everyone to get mad at me, all three people that listen to this, but
so mad. I wonder if I haven't seen, I don't even know if it's out yet, the second season. It's out of My Next Guest Is with David Letterman, but I would feel like David Letterman would be good at this, but I guess he just doesn't have the interest in doing it.
Well, I mean, he is doing it. He's just his podcast is on Netflix, completely filmed with a live audience. That's it.
Right, but it's like 6 episodes every 18 months. It's like six conversations every year and a half.
Because they also film you remember he goes out like on an adventure every episode too?
That's true. They show him briefly like, on a mule in the Grand Canyon or something, yeah.
I don't think he wants to do that much. I don't think I think he's actually retired, but they were like, you can do whatever you want. What do you want? And that was it. That thing was it,
Right.
And that's just enough for us to see his beard and have his personality back, but it's not really anything innovative at all.
No, I don't. I think he's at the point where he's mostly done.
Isn't that what comedians in cars getting coffee kind of is? It's like,
yeah. I
have a lot of friends who hate it. They hate that show, and they're always like, "It's not funny," and I'm like, "It's not really supposed to be." It is funny.
Scripted. It's not. It's a 99% unscripted TV show. Like.
Right, but I think the assumption is that it's almost like a podcast where like if we were both comedians, we would constantly be trying to be funny. Okay. You know what I mean? And that is something that if you go on a podcast with like a comedian, a stand-up or something, that's what they're doing. They're trying to find the joke in the moment of conversation.
I mean, I laughed my ass off at a lot of those episodes. But...
Yeah, no, a lot of them are funny, but I don't think that's just natural. It's not supposed to be funny. It just is sometimes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I know I'm defending it, but it's
weird
that the expectation is odd to me that it's supposed to be like hilarious or something. I'm like, no, it's just hanging out. It's this.
He's hanging out, right?
Yeah, it's this. It's just asking.
It's like when when he had Ellen on or whatever, and Ellen was like, "You should do a talk show." He's like, "I don't want to do a talk show. I would be terrible at it." And she's like, "No, you wouldn't have to do it all the time. You just do like a few episodes. You know, you get who you want to talk to." He's like, "That's what this is, and this is it. This is the show."
Yeah. Like, did you not realize exactly that we were filming this thing?
Yeah. Right. This is this. I'm doing what you're describing, but in a car. You know,
and with people I specifically want, not who have something going on.
Right.
Like sometimes they might, but I don't feel like his booking is anything with like, here's a hot property person.
Maybe like, Obama. That's about it. You know,
yeah,
and again, you get the president, you're going to do it. But that's like the one.
And he was sitting president at the time, right?
Yeah.
If you get a sitting president.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's crazy if you think about it too.
Have you ever seen this video? I'm not going to go too deep into politics, but did you ever see this video of when it was for the correspondence dinner and Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Joe Biden were in it?
Oh.
And she's pretending to be her character from Veep, and he is the current vice president. So again, the continuity is a little weird because they're both vice president. Anyway, but
okay.
So it's like, how does that work? But they basically go around Washington D.C. and do like badass things, like they go and get tattoos. And they like sneak into the White House kitchen and they like pull ice cream out of the freezer. And they just like, you know, they just talk about stuff. And he like wears a black leather jacket and drives a yellow Lamborghini and stuff. And
kind of like the Onion version of Joe Biden.
Kind of like the Onion version of Joe Biden, you know? And that wasn't that long ago, but it was like, he should just run that as an ad, you know? Like, just take footage from this thing and just make it.
He should share those old Onion articles. What happened to that? It's like, I was thinking about this yesterday because I was watching somebody commentating on how they were calling it Joe Biden and the radical left, which is hilarious beyond belief.
Yeah.
But I was like, remember like when it was all, like, remember all those years
ago?
Uncle
Joe Diamond?
Uncle Joe, and it was like Uncle Joe washes his Trans Am in the in the White House driveway and stuff. I was like, what happened to that joke? That went away really quick. Bring it back. He should bring it back. There are their own lines still.
Yeah.
Just post it.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something, son. You know, when I was at that Jackal concert, cranking up the White Snake in my Trans Am. That character is such a specific archetype. But yeah, I mean, he was that guy. And
also, I think there's a stark difference showing that if he shared that on Twitter, it's like something making fun of him, which is like the stark difference there, right?
Well, it actually just makes him look way fake cooler than he really is. You know, but yes, I mean, he's having fun. I mean, he's clearly in on the joke, and
But the Onion was sort of lampooning him a little bit for his personality back then.
Yeah, sure.
What I'm saying is that's a stark difference to what we got now.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no laughter there. But if Joe Biden was like, "Remember this? I love this," you know.
No, if the Onion did the same thing with Trump, and they talked about Trump attending quilting bees, like they just make it that Donald Trump is insanely into quilting, and is always showing off his beautiful quilts and stuff. Like Donald Trump would never be able to enjoy that in any way. He wouldn't. Joe Biden knows about the Onion articles, and he's laughed in interviews about it.
Yeah.
That's something Trump couldn't do.
Also, I feel like that's almost too niche of a joke for him.
Oh, it's a really weird joke. Yeah.
He wouldn't even understand the humor.
No. Joe Biden at least gets that, like, okay, this guy's supposed to be a badass, like,
kind of a buffoonish metalhead guy.
Rebel version of me. He gets that at least. Yeah, the quilting thing is
Trump
really
would be like, I don't get the quilting thing. Like, what are you trying to say? I'm gay or something? Like, he would say something terrible and be like, never mind. Just like, never mind. You can't make fun of you because you're, But I don't know.
Like, that's the only way you can make original Trump comedy. Like, you have to go to a place that doesn't exist in order to make something work that doesn't also depress you.
Because you can't just do the stuff that he's done because it's not funny. It's not no one finds it funny.
Right.
And if
I used to love when everything was 4 years ago, I loved doing posts where I was pretending to talk like him, and now I can't do it because it's not as fun to me.
It's like how I used to do the Bill Cosby voice all the time.
And now you can't. You really can't.
And now I don't want to. It's like
right.
It just reminds me of multiple rapes. It's you know what I mean? the truth is like it's not like how could you watch the Cosby Show? It's not like I agree with taking the Cosby Show and deleting it from history, but like, man, who the fuck wants to be reminded of that every minute?
Sure.
It's like it's not just about what the culture did. It's like if I see him on screen, I think about 60 people being raped.
You saw
You
the when Seinfeld was on Colbert and Colbert was like, "Can you listen to Bill Cosby anymore?"
Yeah.
And Jerry Seinfeld's like, "Yeah, I can. Like, I can separate it." And then Colbert explains it a little more, and he goes, "Okay, I changed my mind. Yeah, you're right. I can't do it anymore."
I remember that.
And then he's like, "I'm a really big person for admitting I was wrong." I was like, God, that's such a Seinfeld thing to do.
to get to be like arrogant about
right, to want
your
the
mind.
credit, to want the credit for changing his mind.
I mean, I couldn't do it. I've tried, and not that I've tried. Like I turn on the television and like Cosby Show is playing. I just couldn't.
I didn't realize there like somebody was still willing to air it.
It was. I don't watch normal TV very much, but it was like it was on some channel. Cosby Show,
TV Land or something.
I mean, they're not going to completely erase. Did they erase Roseanne? No, Roseanne's
that's true. It's still playing.
Of course, I would not equate it. I would not equate it.
Like really different levels here
at all. It would not equate it. Right. You can still watch Seinfeld with Michael Richards, right? I mean, like,
or Seinfeld himself, right? What is he doing, like a 17-year-old or something?
Right. Yeah. There's everyone's problematic.
Everyone's horrible. Everyone's horrible.
Yeah, everyone's horrible. But I feel, like
Jason Alexander tried to rape Richard Gere's hooker. Sorry.
Which was a gerbil.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so weird to see. Shannon watches the same movies a lot. So like Pretty Woman's on in the house, like pretty regularly. And I feel like I'm always coming into the same scenes. And one of those scenes is always Jason Alexander getting punched by Richard Gere.
Did she just play in one movie over and over?
No. But like if she's working or something, she puts a movie on in the background and she lands on the same movies regularly,
Oh, I got you. I mean, I do that, but I don't do it like there's a big rotation.
Right. No, I'd say it's a rotation of about 10. Well, you know that a lot of times a channel will play the same movie for like 2 weeks.
Yes.
So
they have the rights.
Yeah. So that's how it happens.
I don't know. During this, I say this 2020. This is when it's being recorded. In 2020, we're August, September. I've not watched a lot of new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just because I don't feel like absorbing it or paying attention to it in a weird.
I've actually I've been the opposite. I've watched more new stuff than I ever have.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's different.
Yeah.
I
guess I retread some stuff, but like Dexter was new and Cobra Kai's new and whatever.
I just haven't want to give my brain power to it, but I mean, everyone keeps like I just also when something new comes out right now, it's the only thing.
Yeah.
And like when Palm Springs came out, like 9 people asked me if I'd watch Palm Springs.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
That was the Hulu movie with Andy Samberg. It was like
Groundhog Day. Right. Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah. I haven't.
Justin told me to. He was like, "Hey, I'm going to watch this thing tonight." And I was like, "What is it?" And he told me. And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll go watch it. Whatever."
With him?
No. Just like we happened to watch it the same night and then talk about it the next day. But like I didn't know about it until he said Andy Samberg romantic comedy. I was like, okay.
I'm sure it's good. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, it's quite. There's a lot of places you might expect it to go because you've seen that idea in a movie before, but then it doesn't go there. So it's cool.
I guess.
I mean, I'm not going to try to ruin it. I'm not. This is not me trying to urge you to watch it.
No. It's not.
There are 1,000 things you should watch, probably beforehand, but it's good.
Dude, there's like everyone recommends stuff to me, and I'm a real asshole because I'll be like, I'll put it on the list. There's no list.
Right.
There was never a list. That's the truth.
I mean, when Justin recommended Cobra Kai like a year and a half ago, and I just happened to turn on Netflix, and it was like right there, and I was like, "Fuck it, all right, I'll try like an episode." And
it's got to be on that whim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't actively try to do it.
Yeah.
It just happened to be on Netflix, and it was there. I would have never have watched it if it had not come to Netflix. I don't see how I would have, unless you two made it free, I guess.
Well, like, I guess because I've defined myself as somebody who's into movies, I get not even friends. I get people that just tangentially know me that message me on Facebook a lot,
It's
and they
weird.
send me links to things, and they're like, "I think this is up your alley," and then I click on it, and it's not up my alley.
It's not
And
up my
it's
alley at
yeah,
all.
it's not. It's just like I'll watch like, why did they want me to watch this? You know, and then it's like, dude, you need to watch this movie from 1986. I'm like, okay, is it available anywhere? No.
No, but you should really check it out.
Yeah, what am I gonna buy it on your recommendation? Like,
If you buy it for me, I will watch it.
yeah, I was like, you buy the Blu-ray, send it to my house. I guess I'll watch it. But like,
Yeah.
short of that, I'm not gonna search it out, right?
Yeah. Why? I don't get that, but I do get a weird non sequitur video and somebody will be like, "Did you make this?" or something like that.
Yeah, I get that too.
Which is, and I'm like, dude, during Soda Milk, I got drink shit a lot.
Oh,
A
really?
lot.
I got yesterday from Ian. For anyone listening, we made a show that was a parody of review shows on YouTube.
Yes, that is the simplest way to describe
That's the
it.
simplest way to describe it. It was sort of a parody, I guess, but
Yeah.
but yeah. And since then, if anything has to do with soda or milk,
It comes
anyone
our way.
sends it.
People
Yeah,
are like, "Hey, they stole your idea," and I'm like, "I stole the idea." Like,
remember?
So.
Well, you remember that time that I gave they gave you those two props, which I still give you, for the celebrity really famous quotes,
Yep.
which you came up with, which now Chuck Tingle, the
And
great Chuck Tingle, who is a
Clickhole, if Clickhole still exists.
Clickhole. I don't think it exists anymore, but Chuck Tingle is a genius. He's awesome.
Yes, he is.
But he definitely, if he didn't steal it, it's so close.
Oh, it's very
really
close
famous
what he's
quotes.
doing. Yeah, really famous quotes.
Which is still up, right? Really famous quotes.
Oh yeah, really famous quotes is still on Tumblr.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was me and you,
and
writing.
I think nobody else did one. I think Ian sent us some, but we never posted
and we
them.
said no, we didn't like them.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
But it was basically Chuck Tingle's doing them now.
So wait, so that wasn't a one-off? He's doing these regularly?
Yeah, he does that regularly. Like, and he misquotes them. I told you, I've sent some other ones to you before in the past, but
I thought
he
you only sent me
basically is
that
doing
one,
that, and I feel like,
bitch.
but I also feel like we did Soda Milk in 2018, and Soda Milk is still on YouTube. Anyone can watch it. I feel like now, especially because of the pandemic, this is all entertainment is anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like people in a close mid shot doing things, often reviewing or reacting to food or media. That's what we do now.
When I mentioned it on the Reddit that asked the question, "What was your 15 minutes of fame?" and
Right.
I just mentioned the idea that like 2 people thought we were funny. Like, and then a follow-up comment was like, "You can't mention this show without sharing it." And I was like, "Okay, but lower your expectations. This is what it is." Like 5 or 6 people commented afterwards. They were like, "Yeah, this is totally my jam, and I like it." I was like, "Where were you before?"
Platform, man.
Yeah.
If it was on the fucking Adult Swim YouTube channel,
people would like it.
If I was Kevin James,
I just saw literally an hour ago, Gus Johnson had a video where he's wearing a shirt that says r/videos, and he's looking around all angry, and somebody puts in a bag in frame that says, "Look at this video I made," and he goes, "Get the fuck out of here," and he knocked it down. And then somebody puts a bag in that says, "Video my friend made," and he goes, "Oh, let me check that out." And that's it. It's like a 7-second
because you can't
video.
promote yourself, right?
You can't promote yourself. You can never be proud of something you did.
No,
it has to be like, "Oh, look what I found this other guy did."
Brandon Hardesty.
Yeah.
He has asked me to post in our videos for him.
Right, because you can't do it for yourself.
And I'm always like, I don't even have that much karma. So I'm like, why do you want me to do it? Like, you're famous. Shouldn't you be able to? Yeah, but he's not really famous.
Well, I don't think. I don't know,
fame, but
I don't think if you have more karma, your stuff gets automatically bumped, does it?
You need a certain amount of karma for them to like not delete it. Yeah.
Oh, for our videos.
For our videos, they're really tough. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I posted in there and gotten deleted so many times. So many times.
I don't have a ton, but I have I have over 15,000. I mean, I can,
That's good. I have
that's
about
okay.
3, I think.
And some places apparently really care how much of it is post karma versus comment karma. They're like separate pools. It's
Yeah,
honestly like the like I said, it's currently my favorite anything resembling social media. It just seems to be the most. It can be brutal, but can also be like the most fair. It just
right.
seems
I mean,
relatively
yeah,
reasonable.
I don't like the format, so I stopped. And also, like, I couldn't use it for anything, because you can't do that. And I understand that. I know some people really hate Reddit because you can't advertise.
Right.
You just can't. It's like they don't want you to do it. And
I mean, a
so
lot of subs have self promotion Saturdays
yeah, they do.
where I don't know who's going to go look through those, but I mean that's the
It's basically
form.
like, here's our new song, and then everyone goes to the
Right.
bathroom.
Who's
Right. Yeah.
every time I'm on a page that has that, and they're like, okay, this is a musician's page, no self advertising, but once a month, anybody can put a comment on this pinned thread, and you can self promote yourself. And I just can't imagine there's somebody who every month is like,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
who's
To
getting
some
excited
degree,
about
though,
that.
I keep thinking like maybe the mistake, assuming I did anything wrong.
Yep, you fucked up.
If I fucked up, it's really so bad.
You fucked up.
But my mistake was always just advertising things. Like this. There's a lot of channels I love on YouTube or like podcasts and stuff, and they don't do anything. They just post it on their social media silently. Like, here's a new episode, and it's that those are the people that eventually snowball. Usually the content's good, but you know what I mean. Like, it's like they don't try.
I don't think we ever tried. I mean, we just put it up on our own things,
I
and that
meant
was
with
it.
everything, not just
Oh, no.
not just soda milk, but I meant in general.
I always thought the
You know,
lack of success was because we didn't try enough, but
I don't even know what.
I don't really like self-promoting
Neither do I.
periods.
Neither do I. And
Which
yet
is
I have this podcast with like 9, with like 4 shows on it.
yep.
But I don't want to. I even told everyone on there, I was like, I don't want to do Instagram anymore, and Facebook's useless. So
I didn't know you were stopping Instagram.
I have an Instagram. I don't promote on it anymore.
Got you.
Real enlightening stuff. But like, the truth is, I was like, it's no one fucking cares. I was like, who am I promoting this shit to? I don't care. They don't want to hear this stuff.
Right.
Other podcasts, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. No. Honestly, the best promotion that's ever worked for me was that share of soda milk on Reddit. It's the most positive reaction I've ever had. And that was like 4 people is what I'm saying. But in terms of like in terms of random strangers just being like, oh, I like this thing. Not somebody I know. Probably the most successful. And I wasn't trying. And again, I did set it up to be.
I think Black Jeans Well would definitely be that, actually.
Black Jeans Well has about
12,000 views.
No. I'm talking about best example of
a social
advertising
media post.
of like promotion working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes. No. Black Jeans Well has more overall views. Sure.
Yeah, I've never really had any really luck with it. It's fine. I don't really know what I'm doing, and I never have. So whatever. I mean, this only got popular because I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah. Sometimes that's all that matters. Regularity, longevity.
But I think that the pandemic. I don't know about you. I mean, I feel like you kind of dealt with this before I ever did, but the pandemic definitely put it in perspective. Like, maybe I don't want to just like have all this baggage to promote all the time. Like, I had a lot of baggage to constantly keep telling people about, and I was like, maybe that was dragging on me. Like, we all have this brand that we're constantly selling. I'm like, oh, man, I don't want to sell it anymore.
Yeah, no, I just want to make this shit. I don't really care about selling any of it at all.
You're right. Like, the branding thing is annoying.
It's horrible.
It's really bad. And I already had all the branding, so I just used it. If I cared, I would have changed it to something else.
Yeah. When it comes to music stuff, I guess actually the most I did is when I made the album Future Shit is I did print 100 albums and I did mail them to radio stations. But to me, that was almost like part of the project. After I mailed it out, I didn't follow up with any radio stations. I didn't do anything after that. But
did they play it?
have no idea, man. Like I sent out 100, let's say 85. I sent out 85 albums to mostly American, but some overseas college radio stations all across the U.S. And I don't know if any of them ever played it, but
I
I
mean,
followed all
there's
their submission guidelines, and hopefully hopefully one station listened to something, and I even gave them contact information if they wanted to talk to me. I didn't hear from any of them.
that's so weird.
I know, but they say that a lot of the bigger ones, however big you want to say a college radio station can be, but like Towson, WTMD, that's a pretty big college radio station, and their submission policy was one of the most stringent. Like it has to be 2 copies, it has to be double enveloped, it has to be, all sorts of
Right,
shit.
right.
But that's probably the most promotion I've ever done, is actually sitting down, researching radio stations and their submission policies, and like packaging, stamping, and paying for sending CDs all across the United States. And I didn't
Did you
see
get
any
anything?
evidence.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I didn't see anything happen that would indicate that it happened because of that
So you
at
saw
all.
nothing from that.
I mean, I've seen 1 or 2, listens to it on Bandcamp, but it's not like, oh, somebody from Nebraska is listening to it. That must be that Omaha station that I sent it to. Like, no.
Right.
I don't know if I would know. But maybe there is somebody out there who fucking has one of those songs on their YouTube playlist and they occasionally put it on. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird too because you're, like I said, the branding thing. I don't just mean like my podcast. I mean like I feel like everything we do now is a brand. You know what I mean? Like even yourself online. What's your Facebook page? It's a brand. It's even to your friends. You know what I mean? It's like,
I guess so, yeah.
you know what I mean? It all feels like we're
It's a
selling
public
something.
persona that's not exactly you. So yeah, I guess it's kind of a
Right.
brand.
If the elevators caught on, the funny thing is it's not a band that you established. You know what I mean? Like, what would happen if it? Would you do more?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, I figured. Yeah, but like I just feel like I was tired of everything having to have a name and a context. You know what I mean? Like I have to give everything context when I sell it to people for free. I'm not even selling. I'm just asking for time. I'm like, what am I doing? I really can't. That's all that introspection that comes with being afraid you're going to die for like 7 months and beyond another year. Like
Right.
yeah. So I just the whole time like there's part of me that wanted to even stop doing this. Like
But now you kind of feel like doing this is a sanity move.
what else am I going to do?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like
I don't know what else to do. I'm sitting here.
You're doing this to, as an excuse to get together and have conversations. So,
Yeah, and I can probably talk to people. I can podcast with people that aren't in Baltimore, too.
Too true.
Like like I said, what else am I doing besides like everyone is like, why aren't you podcasting again? Like that's the one thing you can fucking do, and I'm like, because I don't want to. for the first couple of months, I'm like completely lost. I'm like my whole life's gone. I'm not at home. Anyone listening to this, that's what happened. That's why Thundergrunt has been completely dormant. I didn't even say anything on like the feed. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't even say like, "Hey, I know you haven't heard from me, but this is why."
We had fans ask us on Twitter, and I just responded and explained it. I was just like, "Hey, all of our shows were recorded in person for a reason, because I personally think that is a better show. It's funnier, it's better, there's more energy, everything about it. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do this, but now this is our lives for
the foreseeable future.
Yeah. What do you think till late next year?"
Yeah,
Probably.
I mean, we're thinking about. I mean, not to get super personal, but we're thinking about we got to figure something else out for this wedding in May because that's when it's rescheduled. I don't know what we're gonna do. I mean, everybody told us we were overreacting by putting it a year out, and I
didn't tell you that.
No, I didn't think so either.
If anything, I would have been like, just go 2. I would have been like,
right,
just go 2, man, because it's gonna be. I didn't. I was hoping I was wrong on that, but
I don't think we would hate the idea of pushing it back more again, but we just don't like last time the venues and everything was cool with it money wise.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be cool with another redo. They might be like, well, we think it's safe enough, so you got to do it now.
Is it okay to say you were going to get married in May and then you moved it to May? Yeah,
sure.
that's what happened. For anyone
supposed to get married this past May. Obviously, pandemic happened. Everybody was cool and
prime pandemic time.
Primo pandemic.
Yeah, right.
Actually, weirdly though, it was probably safer to have it this past May in Maryland than it currently is.
There will be no way to know.
No, I guess not. But there's definitely more cases now, right?
I'd rather get it. I mean, as time passes, if I had to get it, and I don't leave the house at all, but if I had to, I'd rather get it now, obviously, because they know more. Mm-hmm. Every week, some doctor probably figures something out. You know what I mean? Like every little teeny, if you got it back in May, they even know more now. They know more now. They're treating people better now than they were then. So I'm glad you didn't just go like, well, let's get it in right before it gets bad.
Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah. It would have been. And you know what? I was in 3 weddings this year.
Oh, damn.
All canceled, if you count ones that went on like they were supposed to, like a Zoom wedding and stuff.
Like Huey.
Yeah, like Huey. Yeah. So that's 3 weddings in my life that were completely moved out of the way. Yeah. I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when that kind of stuff is going down where we can't even do that, why the hell am I thinking about online algorithms and and everything?
This isn't a critique, what am I doing? You were pretty heavy into the idea of promotion like this last year. And when you were like, yeah, I bought this phone because this phone allows you to use this app that lets you track this on. I was like, man, he's like really focused on how to max those. I get it.
I was trying to make Thundergrunt something. People were starting to care.
It was difficult for me to understand it because I think most of the time your mentality has also been like, man, promotion kind of sucks, self-promotion kind of sucks. And I've also felt that way. Yeah. So for you to suddenly kind of get into it enough to at least get a separate device to do it. I mean, that it was a little foreign to me because I can't even conceive of what Bob's doing because it's just outside of my.
I think the other show on here is Writers Blockbusters, right? And that show's the one that I would say has the most fans, or at least the one thing that messaged me, mm-hmm. And Jimmy is on there, and he's very into social media and like algorithms and numbers and stuff. So I started to do stuff that he was doing to try to help it out, but I can tell you I absolutely fucking hated it. And I was like instantly like, I don't even know why I care. I was like trying to figure out why I care. Like why do I want this again? There's no money in it. I'm not a comedian.
What's the best case scenario?
What am I doing?
Podcast.
Right. I was like, I don't know. I don't actually know. Pod Save America or something, but they're doing something like important, or like you have to do narrative like Serial or be Joe Rogan. I don't think for a nobody you'd have Last Guys on the Left. Maybe you get that crowd.
Yeah, I guess.
But I don't think.
I mean, are you ever going to top? Is somebody like you or me ever going to outbeat something that NPR makes?
No, but that said, there's a lot of this seems really defeatist. This all seems really defeatist. But that said, there's been a lot of great stuff that's happened, with it. So I can't say I don't appreciate it. I didn't love doing it. It's just the continued pursuit after this like life adjustment has happened. You know what I mean? Sure. This whole like wake up call, like, hey, everyone and you could die at any minute, and we're reminding you every day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we all knew that, but we don't want to be reminded of it every day, and now it is, and we're living like this because of it, and it just makes like, I wonder how my podcast is doing. It makes that just flow out the window,
Sure.
So
I didn't get motivated to start doing anything creative for like the first 4 months. Only recently have I started to be like, oh, I kind of feel like working on music, I guess.
For me, it was like 6, but yeah, same. I've only started being like, okay, what can I start to do now? Because I'm dying if I don't, I have to do something. Like I started thinking of video ideas and stuff, and I'm like, what can I do in this house alone?
Yeah. I think I watched some videos on YouTube and guys in home studios, and I was like, I can improve mine for when I am ready to start doing stuff. And then working on it made me want to use it. And even though I'm not doing much now, it's like mostly almost basically how I want it set up, and I'm still probably not doing enough, but whatever.
But enough for what?
No, I know.
You
I'm
know,
saying, well, I'm working on a project with a songwriter, and like I want to get that stuff done so I can work on
I'm
something
recording a
new.
podcast, Mom. It's okay. This is Mike. It's fine.
Hi, Joanne.
Yeah.
uh, um,
Sorry. Say what you're gonna say again.
yeah. No, I'm just saying, like I'm working on a project with a songwriter, and I have another project that I want to work on after that. So like, if I can't work on that until I finish this. Like, so like that's my urging. I want to get this done so I can work on something else. And I want to get that thing done by next October because it's kind of Halloween based. So like I want to.
If there is a next October.
Jesus, yeah.
But people are making us think about there being no Halloween.
Right. Oh yeah.
Like, what did you think there? Yeah, like,
we can live without a Halloween. It's fine.
well, there's still
One.
Halloween. You just don't do anything.
Right.
You know, you just don't
just
do
one,
anything.
It's one Halloween.
I'm sure though I think I'm gonna have a lot of friends who get really temptingly close. You know, but it's fine. Anyway, what you were saying, like I've started to do similar things where I'm like, all right, and it's like an uphill climb for my concentration. I'm like, okay, I'll do this, and once I get that done, I'll do this. You know what I mean? And I'm trying my best to just stick to it because I like my mind has not been there. You know, so I'm like trying to crawl back out.
And this week,
yeah.
Go ahead. Go. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. Go ahead.
So this week, I said I was like going to start a 21-day thing where I was going to just try to spend some time each day focusing on like 2 areas, and I've succeeded on one day. It's been 3 days and I've succeeded once, so that's fine. But like it's tricky.
Yeah, I mean, it's really. I guess it is kind of depressing if anyone was listening to this to talk about, but that's
Sure.
true. It's like, you know, that's another reason. I wanted to do this, and I was also like, what the fuck do you talk about anymore? Oh, we're not doing anything.
Well, I mean, that's just it. Like I feel
nothing to talk about.
As depressing as a lot of this makes me, like I feel more. Like Shannon said, Shannon's more extroverted than I am, and Shannon's like, you hang out with more people during this pandemic than like, you know, I do, you know, than she does or whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm very popular, you know.
Right.
But so I feel like I'm interacting. I talk to Ben more now than I did then.
Just said it's not my fault. You're a loser. Right to your fiance. Just
you're a fucking loser.
Yeah. Get some friends, fucking dork. I mean, I talk to friends every day.
Yeah, but I'm with my voice. I've talked to friends more during this pandemic than I probably did beforehand.
Okay.
I mean, not in person. I'm just saying, like, non-in-person vocal interactions were definitely less than
right
now.
But this isn't real. There's still something missing here.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, there's like this is great, and like, God, I can't imagine 1918 where the same exact conditions exist, but you got a candle and one book for the whole family. And you know what I mean? And like,
Gary, you done reading that book?
Right.
You've already read it. You've already read it too.
And they're in the pitch black dark screaming at each other.
Where are you? I can't see you.
Why does it smell so bad in here?
It's terrible.
Like, we got this. It's hard to be like, everything's so bad when, oh my God, you have a pandemic, but you also have video chatting and internet streaming.
Thank God we have a lot of these options, dude.
Oh my God.
Seriously.
Like, it's like the only saving grace, like that we had all this stuff. And I feel like it's one of those things where like, what if this happened in like 2000? We wouldn't have had, the internet would not nearly be as good. We wouldn't have had the streaming.
No.
It would be talking on the phone a lot.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of talking on the phone. You know,
it's like humanity kind of queued itself up. Like, we're ready for something. We don't know what, but we're going to get all the technology we have and make sure that nobody wants to leave their fucking house. Because we're going to get streaming movies, and you're going to have video chat, and video games are going to be insane. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It happened just at the right moment when we figured it all out.
And now they're talking like there's going to be a lot of technology that develops out of the necessities caused by this
Right.
that we wouldn't have had for another few years because the
Well, hopefully we
production
get
gets
those
up
Bruce Willis surrogates.
Oh yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
amazing. Give us
hell yeah.
those.
Where are those at?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
going to be cheap, right? They're going to be dirt cheap.
That movie will become legendary, and it's not even that good. You know, like,
Right.
thanks to that movie. I mean, Ready Player One would be the logical next step, obviously.
I haven't seen it, but I know what the premise is.
Yeah, right. There's going to be some kind of virtual world that everyone just VRs into.
Hangs out in all the
And
time.
yeah, it's so good that you don't really. I guess
bodies wither and shut down.
Right. You can like die in there of old age and shit. Yeah, that'd be great. Not really.
No.
No.
I read an article of this like 65-year-old scientist who's converting his body into a cyborg because he's dying. And so he's got this rare ass disease, the same disease Stephen Hawking does. And so as he's losing his ability to like walk and stuff, he's replacing parts of himself as it happens. Basically, he's like, I'm going to die anyway. So I might as well experiment with what I can graft onto my body and control with computers and shit. And yeah, he's like replaced good chunks of his body with robot parts. Like,
are they working?
But he's not an idiot. Like he can do this. Like he knows.
They work though? Do the parts work?
Yeah. He was able to stand again on the robotic prosthetics that he has.
I mean, that's like huge, right?
Yeah. His partner is like, I don't really get why he's doing all this stuff, and I wish he wouldn't. But okay, like I get it, kind of like, but you know, it's weird to see him like this.
I guess he feels like his body is the gift that he was given to experiment on.
Yeah, and at this point, he has the excuse: I'm going to die anyway. I'm definitely going to die from this disease.
Yeah,
So experiment on me. Let's get my scientist friends who want to work on this stuff, and let's like do it to me.
Right.
Like let's figure out if we can take some leaps in cyborg technology.
It's probably a small part of him, like kind of hoping that they'll figure something out where he could just like put his brain into a robot or something.
His ultimate dream is that, because that disease just basically starts shutting down all your bodily functions, that he can just create machines that do those functions for him and so he'll still be able to live. That disease kills you because your lungs just stop functioning. So even if your brain's fine,
your lungs can't breathe. So
you die. So I think that is his ultimate goal, to just live having machines do everything for him, but he's still mobile and conscious.
Right. Well,
I mean, why not?
At that point, if you're just a brain in a robot suit,
more or less, yep.
What's left? I mean, would the eyes be attached? I guess he wouldn't leave his eyes. But
no, I mean, like is he blind? I don't think he's blind. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing about eyes. Yeah, I don't know.
Hawking could still see, right?
Yeah, he's dead now, but yeah, he could.
At the end. He still had vision.
Sure.
Right. And wasn't he like on the logs for Epstein or something? It's like something terrible.
I did not know that. Jesus.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, it was like, not that that's a pressing matter, but it's like shit.
Right. Well, this cyborg guy, he before he lost his voice, he recorded thousands upon thousands of words of himself speaking to have the computer kind of learn his timbre and tone, and or just use those clips for when he wants to communicate. So instead of like the Stephen Hawking's,
still that'd be frightening.
Oh yeah. No, his partner like commented on like it's weird hearing his partner talk like that.
You can't just say words; you have to have the tonation of the sentence, right?
Well, it is, but it'd be like me playing a recording and being like, "Hello, Bob, how are you doing today?" And you're hearing like,
"Hello, Bob, how are you doing today?"
Well, hopefully some of those phrases are sentences. But yes, if I wanted to say a complex thing like I arrived at the movies.
Well, maybe it can like auto-tune his voice automatically.
I think it can. It can.
I arrived at the movies.
Right.
The
movies.
Right. The movies. Right. Like just slightly, just enough.
Just a little bit.
It's not fucking scary as hell. You'd have to record like thousands of hours of
He
stuff.
did. He recorded like over 15,000 words. Like he did
and phrases.
I don't remember the article all that well, but yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
presumably there's some catchphrase. His catchphrases were definitely recorded.
That just I'd almost want to just be like, just let my.
I'm just not gonna talk. Okay,
I don't talk anymore. It's weird. It's fucking weird. I mean, like Lee, what he should have done is instead of spending all that time doing that, he should have like recorded his dreams and hopes and thoughts just in a journal or like a vlog. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, he's still got plenty of life left. He's only like
okay.
60.
Okay.
So I think he thinks with these, Hawking's lived till pretty old. I think he also thinks with these cybernetic enhancements, he could live another 20 years maybe.
Well, every time he chops off a limb, he has less of a chance of cancer.
That's right.
There's like the less meat you have, the less cancer.
Yep, less skin cancer, less, bone cancer, I guess. Not really. You're not really eliminating organs, so I guess your organs can still get the cancer.
There's all the organ cancers, but you can't get rid of those.
No. He's going to need
until science figures
until they stop working and he has a machine that does it for
right,
him, which is the end game, really.
You said he was a billionaire?
No, he's just like a very smart scientist.
Oh, okay.
Who's probably getting funding to do some of this stuff.
Isn't it illegal if you want to remove, or not illegal, that's not the word, like medical like institutions will not, like the people with the phantom limb syndrome, you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
The people that like desperately want their leg cut off.
You ever heard of that? Phantom limb is, no, I mean, that's
not phantom limb.
Right.
Whatever that syndrome, there's a name for it.
Yeah.
And the people that desperately want, it's like they need it off. Like they feel like it's like some kind of thing invading their body.
Right. It's alien.
It's alien to them and they need it to be cut off. And then like, it's always been like a problem to have that happen, right? Because you're basically asking to cripple me.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that not, that's probably not the right word to use. But that they're asking.
Maim. You're asking for people you're asking to be maimed severely, permanently. Yes. So.
I think there's some hold up with that with the medical community.
Oh, like you can't just get anything done.
Right. You can't just go anything done.
I mean, there's a limit. You can't go to any plastic surgeon to be like, chop off my foot. Here's $20,000. He can't do that.
Chop off my foot.
Yeah, or whatever. I don't think he can do that.
Well, he can.
Yeah, legally. I don't think he can legally do that.
But that's something like that. You're just going to end up doing it yourself. If you want it that bad, you're going to do that yourself.
God, it's terrible.
Well, you could probably do it without pain if you have enough type of medicine and stuff.
That were just reminded me, I don't know too much about this, so don't ask too many questions, but there was the Reddit guy who chopped off his own dick and tried to eat it.
I saw that. Yeah.
And
I saw that. I saw an article about it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I just saw some post that was about, it was like, hey, what are some classic Reddit stories? And then somebody posted about that and it linked to the original posts. Boy, was that dude fucked up. That dude was a fucked up dude.
What's he doing now?
Don't know. He's recording an album.
Well, I mean, like, did he do it? Didn't he do it for some kind of a sexual fetish reason?
He did it for a religious reason, I believe.
Was it religious?
He kept on talking about God, and a lot of the questions he was asking Reddit is like, what's the best way to prepare a human penis for consumption? Can you get sick eating your own penis? Can you lose too much blood from removing your own penis?
I'm laughing because
I know the questions funny, are yeah. Like, I also like the idea that he thinks that somebody else is going to be like, oh, no, dude, I ate my own penis, and I was perfectly fine.
Okay, this is what this made me think of. So I was watching Ravenous the other day, and the premise of that movie is that if you eat human meat, you gain a certain sort of super healing Wendigo superpower.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
Like you can be shot and still like survive, and you have like extra strength, and you like it basically heals you. It's like the fountain of youth almost.
Yeah, the energy, you get the energy
of a man. You're eating the energy
life
of a man. And I was thinking about that eating your own penis thing made me think about like whenever I watch that movie, I always think like, has anyone that like has science observed? Not that Ravenous is like science, but has anyone ever observed a human eating enough human meat to see what it would actually do? You know what I mean? Like, scientifically speaking, what would a human that lived off only human meat and other vitamins,
right,
for like months to a year.
Like you think it would somehow be significantly different to like
I don't know. No,
people who eat apes or something?
no, I think it would be nothing.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
But it just would be slightly funny to me if there was some change there. You know, like they noticed something different. Like, like,
Right, like
what
the
if Ravenous
biology
was sort of right?
right.
So I was like, you know, yeah.
Your body's working at 10% more efficiency.
Right. Like you get some, because there's like legends about it. You know what I mean? There are legends about it and stuff. So it's like,
maybe there's something to it.
like
Right.
I was like, I mean, this fucking got a bunch of corpses that are fresh.
Right.
There's a guy willing to eat it,
and some willing people. Right.
Right. I mean, it's obviously a sin in a lot of religions, and it's pretty heinous.
No, it's pretty heinous. Yeah,
it's pretty absolutely heinous. But if everyone is consensually agreeing to the thing, I was like,
right.
What if it actually made you like heal faster or something? You know, it cured What if the cure for cancer was eating people?
Human flesh?
God, that would be. Then we'd, as a society, we'd have to.
I mean,
people would eat
in some regards, you're probably not wrong, right? Because like stem cells could probably be used to replace cancerous cells, right?
There's
theories. I realize you wouldn't be eating it, but I'm saying the idea of like taking in human flesh in order to heal yourself isn't too far-fetched from what stem cells do. So
I guess, but stem cells aren't coming from like grown adults.
No, just human cells. I'm trying to think of the most equivalent thing I can think of.
We're both not scientists or biologists in any way.
No.
It's hard to even say, but it's just it'd be interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think we should
happen. I don't think anything would
happen. I think in the end you'd be like, well, nothing happened, and we did this fucking affront to God.
And his other scientist is like, yeah, we didn't kill him though. No, that's true. We didn't kill him.
They were already dead.
They were already dead.
What about the guy that ate all the meat? Well, he's
just gonna have to live with that, and that wasn't us. So
he signed that paper, so
we're good. I think we're good. Yeah.
It's like the guy, like the people that were like in alive, you know what I mean? Like we had to eat people. We were gonna die. You signed up.
I'd love that to be a bit though. And like the third guy's like, what about me? I had to eat all these people.
Right. Yeah, the scientists are like, we're fine.
We're fine. We're morally clear, right? Yeah, I think we're good.
I ate 15 people.
This guy though, this guy's fucked.
I mean, okay, in the experiment, he wouldn't be like eating from a corpse.
No, it's not like
it'd be
grabbing
processed.
femurs and going rah.
Yeah, it's not like a joke thing.
No, they'd have to find somebody who would prepare it. So that guy's going to be fucked up.
It'd be right. It'd be a horror movie. It's a fucking horror movie. It's like Saw or it's like Hostel. You know, it's like somebody like that would do that. Yeah. Yeah.
And scientists with clipboards, like, oh. All right.
So how do you feel? I feel pretty depressed. Well, yes, we knew that would happen.
My life got to the point where I had to sign up for this test or starve to death. So pretty bad.
The guy gets sicker just because of depression. It's offsetting. Like, hey, we need to make you happy because your depression's ruining the experiment.
Can you just try to loosen up a little bit?
Here, eat this.
Eat this. Are you hungry? For human? Speaking of I'm hungry, for human?
For human meat?
It's really all we have. Oh,
yeah, God. I don't know. I was just thinking about that. Like, no one's ever tried it for a long period of time.
Right. And I doubt that even like the people from Alive in the actual story, I doubt doctors were like, well, we need to examine you to see if the human flesh.
We need to see if you have any superpower. I mean, temporarily speaking.
Go flip that car. Can you do that?
Can you lift this? They're like frostbitten all over their face and shit. Like,
quickly before he shits out the human.
Yeah. As long as it's in the body, we know that the superpowers are sealed in.
Chilean scientists.
What?
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I just a thought I had the other day.
Yeah, it's a point.
I watched Alive a lot when I was a kid, so I always thought that the
I only read about it. I never actually saw the thing.
Oh, it was on TV a lot. So like as a kid, I was always like, man, they're so dramatic about eating these fucking people, you know. And I never really, as a
Like you
kid,
didn't get it.
I didn't. I think when I watched it as a kid, to me, it was like a genre movie.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the true story. Evaded me. I didn't know it was a real story.
Okay.
So I just watched it as a genre movie where these people were starving, and the only thing they had left was people, dead corpses.
And probably in your kid brain, it's like, well, that's what they had to do, and so it wasn't as
Yeah, maybe my
shocking to you. I
yeah.
mean, as a kid, that's what my brain would do. I wouldn't freak out about it. I would just be like, well, they had to do it,
It's
so I
either
get it.
death or this, right?
Yeah, right, right.
Like a kid is a little bit more feral and bestial in their thinking, I guess.
Yeah, I think
know?
sometimes little kids are like that. They're just like,
Yeah.
kill or be killed sometimes.
Yeah, like as an adult though, like we're
Sure.
laughing about it, but I think you don't want to.
You have more perspective on what a life is.
Right, and you think about like you touch their flesh and you think about their hopes and their dreams and their perspective and sympathy and empathy and compassion, and you're like, okay, I can't. Maybe I should start to death, man. I can't do this, But as a kid, I just thought it was like a horror movie.
Whenever I see a movie and people are stranded in the wilderness, like let's say, Rocky Mountains or something, I'm always like, I mean, I would at least try eating bark and grass, but it seems like that never happens in movies where they just start grabbing bark and just like chewing on it. Like,
can you survive on bark?
It's calories. I mean, I don't.
You probably can eat a lot more plants than you think you can, but also you probably can't. There's like so many of them that you shouldn't eat. You know what I mean?
But grasses, I don't think there are poisonous grasses.
No, you can eat lawn grass if
Right.
it doesn't have chemicals on it, of course.
Right.
But yeah, you can eat lawn grass. But I mean, who's gonna eat fucking wood, dude? Like no one's,
If I'm starving, I mean, I might put leaves in my mouth. I've eaten leaves off trees before.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I guess
but that weird some people out. I remember when I was a kid, I went on a bike trip. The camp counselors forgot to pack us food, so we were out biking for miles without any food, and the head counselor was like livid that these teenagers, because that's what the head counselors were,
right,
had forgotten to pack the food. And I remember just grabbing a couple of leaves off of a tree and just shoving it in my mouth. And people were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm hungry.
I'm
like,
eating.
These are here." It's just kind of like lettuce to me, like dead lettuce. It wasn't particularly tasty or horrible.
Should have ate some bugs.
Yeah, I wasn't that hungry.
I mean, bugs,
I've never eaten a bug. Have you ever eaten a dried cricket?
Yeah, I have. It's not good to me.
It doesn't just kind of taste like. I always kind of imagine it tastes like sunflower seed shells.
It does, but it tastes like, I'm going to quote Gordon Ramsay, it tastes like bandages.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. It's not like that, like an old sock.
So it's crunchy like sunflower seed shells,
but
then the taste of bandages.
Well, everybody who's looking to the future says that eventually we're going to have to start eating bugs.
Yeah, cricket protein and shit or whatever.
Because bugs are prevalent and we're going to run out of food.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. If we can grind it down into like a powder protein and I can mix it with shit, like, okay.
I mean, they have like that bread that's like made of, was it maggots or something? But
probably
it's not.
Crickets. Crickets is like
cricket bread. Yeah, like they grind them down. It's like not.
Yeah, you're not looking
eating
at legs.
Crickets. Yeah, they're it's like a powdered cricket.
They dry them out and then they grind them down.
Right.
Fine.
I can eat that. I mean, can they not call it that? Don't call it cricket bread.
They should come up with another name for it. They've done that with lots of food where they come up with other names for. They tried to do it with horse. There's this woman who owned like a horse meat farm. Oh no, that's an episode of Mad Men. But anyway, that was the premise of Mad Men, is that people had found out that horse was in dog food and they flipped out. And they're like, yeah, so our brand's taking the heat for it, but all brands of dog food have horse in it. We need to find another word like veal instead of baby cow, so that way people don't make the connection to horse, So
I guess that's why they call it veal, right? So they don't think of the baby cow, right?
That's exactly why they call it a different name. Yeah. So that's what we'd have to do with cricket protein. We'd have to call it something else, Florin.
Florin, yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, there's some Florin. Yeah. It's Florin based bread. Oh, that's good. I like Florin bread.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I mean, veal kind of sounds gross if you think about it.
Right.
The actual name veal kind of
Yeah.
sounds like seal. So,
Right. Right.
Yeah. Veal's, I wonder how they came about veal. I'd have to look that up.
I think it's marketing, but I don't know.
They
Or
still want to
like
say baby
foie
cow meat.
gras is like, duck liver, but foie gras sounds better than duck liver.
I don't think I've ever had foie gras.
No. And the way you have to like force feed a duck in order to get foie gras. It's like crazy. You're shoving food down a duck's throat so they get fat. It's crazy. Like somebody came up with this. Like,
Yeah, like who's the
how did you
first guy who
stumble
did this?
across this?
Yeah, right. When the fuck did you do this? Turducken. I mean, that kind of makes sense though. But to actually do it to the living animal,
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I guess they ate a duck liver at one point, and then they noticed another duck, when it ate more, had a bigger liver. So they're like, well, let's just
they're
force
just
feed
trying to make the
ducks.
duck have a fatty liver, right? That's the
I
point.
guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus.
It's just
Well,
like a lot of hoops.
that's why
A
I've
lot of
never
hoops.
I've never eaten it because it's expensive. So whatever.
And I just
Low
read, and I
class.
didn't know this, and you probably did because you don't eat red meat, but um, that the idea of pork being the other white meat is 100% marketing hype, and that pork is biologically the same effect on the body as red meat.
I don't eat pork.
No, I know. I'm saying
Oh,
that's why you probably knew this, and
oh,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I just don't eat. A
Right.
pig is a mammal.
Right.
So
But I thought like, oh well, like there's the dangers that are mixed in with red meat in terms of like colon cancer and stuff.
yeah.
But pork and chicken are outside of that. Pork might have its own problems, but it doesn't have the red meat problems. But no,
Right.
apparently pork is, as far as your body's concerned, red meat.
I think that marketing campaign was just at the fact that some that cut of pork chop that you get was white when you cooked it.
Well, yeah, and chicken.
That's it.
And it was to capitalize off of the popularity of chicken. That's
Right,
what it is.
right.
Chicken was so prevalent in American households and pork wasn't. So pork was like, we need a marketing campaign. Let's say we're the other white meat, and see how that works. And it worked. So
it did, because we're still saying it all these years later. Like, where's the beef?
Right.
It fucking worked. Like, it works. But yeah, I always assumed that was just a color thing. I didn't ever assume that they were trying to say like the actual makeup of the meat is poultry-ish,
I guess I've just never thought about it, but I definitely didn't equate it biologically as the same thing as red meat. My mind just kind of went beef, pork, chicken, all separate, and that pork was probably closer to chicken because of its color. I think my brain did kind of think that.
If anything, pork is probably closer to human.
Too true.
Yeah, because pigs are like fleshly, like close to us or whatever. Once again, talking about stuff we have no expertise in.
It's also weird though, like when we talk about bacon, it's pork bacon, and then you have to say turkey bacon. If you say turkey bacon, nobody just automatically assumes that if you say bacon, you mean turkey. But
that's because turkey bacon is processed. It's not cut.
Okay, right, because turkeys aren't mammals, but you can get bacon off a deer, you can get bacon off a cow, but they don't call it bacon.
No, but what I'm saying is, you understand what I'm saying though, right? Like turkey bacon is not
it's
like
shaped to look like bacon.
It's a shape to look like bacon. It's processed food. It's not a cut strip of flesh.
No, I understand that.
Yeah. Like that's why you have to say turkey bacon or else.
Right, but I'm saying that the part of the pig that we get bacon from exists on cow and deer and any other mammal like that, but like we don't eat deer bacon or cow bacon. Like it's just a cut. It's a cut from a certain part of the pig, but that flesh exists on other animals. What about pork makes pork be able to be cut like that? And
I don't know. I don't actually have an answer for you.
We used to hunt deer, and my dad would get, deer sausage, and he would get deer, jerky and stuff like that. Like you can do it.
Right, you can do it. Well, are you saying that there's actually a cut of deer that you can that can mimic bacon? I guess it'd just be thin, right? Thin and fatty.
I don't know for sure. I'm talking a little out of my ass, but I just know that, like, certain cuts of the cow are called certain types of steak, and certain cuts of the pig are called certain types of thing. But like, would that cut of cow that's from the equivalent section of a pig that's bacon also be bacon? Could I cut slivers of a cow and it would act just like bacon? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know why you couldn't, because it's just thin. It's like steakums, right? Steakums is kind of baconish.
It's weird.
That's
I mean, we
beef.
say pork chops, but they're really steaks. But we don't say pork steaks, really. They're chops, but they're.
We have to ask a butcher this shit. I don't know. I actually don't know. But
I go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. This brings me to the only format. This kind of conversation has brought me to the only formatting thing I ever do.
Yeah. All right. What's up?
Because I decided that I would do at least, because I told a few people about this. Like, I want to do this podcast called Shrimp Night where it has no format. I just talk to people that I know or I don't know. It doesn't matter. And I was like, the one formatting thing is I want to do a would you rather question at the end.
Okay.
And it's always going to be negative.
Between two negative choices?
Yes, two negative choices.
Okay.
Because the positive ones, they don't seem as fun to me.
Oh, no, less interesting, sure.
Right. So this is great because what we talked about so far kind of works.
Yeah, that's a lot of meat questions.
And there's and if you need any clarifications, you got to ask me, okay?
Oh, I'll ask, yeah.
So, would you rather either lose both of your hands, painless? Surgery's painless. You have no pain. It's removed. That's it. All right. Or every time you have an orgasm, 1,000 people will die that you'll never see.
How are my hands? What am I? I got stumps, smooth stumps.
Yeah, I mean, when I say your hands, like wrists, at the wrists.
Yeah. And at the end, is it like scars or is it like a smooth stump?
It's whatever the best medical science can do.
So like a perfectly round little dome.
I guess. Can they do that? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, people who are born without like limbs typically have like just a smooth.
I assume that they could.
Okay. So let's just say some light scarring, and I can't get prosthetics, right?
I hadn't thought of that. I mean, why couldn't you? You could totally get fake wooden hands or
robot
hooks.
limbs. Like I can get hooks. I can get hooks.
You can get hooks. Totally get hooks.
Okay.
Like John Hamm in 30 Rock.
Yeah.
Right.
But I have to imagine like they have pretty decent prosthetic hands now too. I can't feel anything, but I can at least
don't go like banking on current technology prosthetics as much.
Okay.
There's a robot guy. See, you know what's funny is I thought of this question before we started, and we talked about.
That's so weird.
The robot arms and the eating human flesh, but
yeah.
I wouldn't go banking on it.
Fine. Yeah. Let's just assume, for the purposes of the question, I have to live with the stumps. Okay. I think it's better.
I mean, hooks is fine.
Hooks. Okay. The maximum I can go up to is hooks.
I mean, hooks are cool, man. You're gonna get a hook, right?
Yeah, as long as they're like the grabbing hooks and not like Captain Hook.
You mean like Kingpin? Those like the.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So I can smoke a cigarette or whatever.
I think those are attached to a muscle.
Okay.
That's why they do that, right?
You said that I'll never meet, but like I don't even know them?
No. You don't.
Okay.
They're somewhere else on the planet. People that would otherwise, I'll clarify, people that would otherwise live long, full lives will die instantly.
No pain.
No pain. But they'll die. They'll just die. They'll drop dead.
So their bodies will still exist. They won't just go.
No, it's not. It's not like that. The magic is only that they just die. They just die.
Okay, and none of them have any connection to me whatsoever.
No.
Like, could we say there's at least 6 degrees of separation between any of these 1,000 people?
Are you worried about like the legalities of it?
No, I'm worried where it's like, your grandfather dies. I don't know him, but it hurts you.
I mean, look, it's random. It's like,
but I don't know them. It's random, except certain people.
You don't know them personally, but you could kill someone I know that you don't know.
Okay.
But you don't know. I mean,
I understand.
And 1,000 people out of.
Am I the only one who knows that I have this going on? The orgasm killing people thing.
Yes.
No one else knows.
It's like I mean, the way I thought about it was like it's your conscience. It's your conscience versus your inconvenience for life.
Yeah,
So,
Okay,
you
okay,
know,
okay. All right.
I know what I would do.
Sure,
It's a
but that's
terrible
not the
situation.
question, Bob.
I know. That's why I'm asking you. Because, I mean, also, it could affect your enjoyment, your performance,
Hmm.
you know.
Well, it would definitely limit the masturbation.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
true.
It would. Um,
It sucks, man.
yeah, I mean, let's assume, you know,
Also, whoever's controlling the decision making is choosing healthy people that would live a long life.
oh, right. So it's not.
It's not
So
like you're
the
killing old age homes. You could be
so
killing
it's
like
not really random. We're talking about a system
healthy
where
people.
I don't know them,
Right.
but they're also, if the future could be divined, these people would live long, healthy lives.
Yes. So also take into account that every time you orgasm, I didn't even think about this when I came up with it. You're weirdly also like changing the divined future because they're
Yeah.
supposed to live in the future that is unchanged. So you're
Yes.
actually like butterfly affecting the planet,
Yeah,
possibly adversely.
and I'm also genetically taking out arguably like the cream of the crop, like the people who have really great longevity genes at the very least.
They're probably like very healthy,
Right. They don't have
long
like a
lived
genetic
people.
disorder
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something. Most likely they do not.
right.
Whew. See, if it was random,
And also this includes children.
no, I understand.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So no one over the age. Is this going to happen to anyone over the age of like 60?
Well, let's say this: anyone is eligible who is going to live a full life. So if you're 60 and you still going to live a full life, I would say what full life is 90 at most,
I was going to
100.
say 80. Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So they still got they could be a chosen orgasm death,
Okay. Okay.
but you're probably gonna lean towards younger, healthier people. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I was gonna make it 10,000.
I mean that answer that makes it way easier to
I
answer.
know.
To
1,000 to me. That's why I went down to 1,000 because I was like, that way it's like kind of iffy.
I mean, let's see. I'm 30 for math's sake. I'll say I'm 35, and let's say I live another 50 years, and let's say 300 orgasms a year. So that's three. That's 15. 300
You want me
times.
just do it on a calculator? I
Uh,
can't do math in my head, so I can do it on a calculator. You're just assuming 300 orgasms a year too. That could be more.
it could be
But
more. It could be, I guess, less, especially if I get older. But
300
I'm just
times
trying.
50 is 15,000.
Right.
That's
Times 1,000.
Oh, right, yeah, right. Times 15 million people.
Right. So.
So, well, now I like to point it in perspective though. 15 million people throughout your lifetime is almost undetectable.
Sure. And
Especially
right now we have 7 billion people on the planet.
and nearing 8. So,
Right. So it's a relatively small number of people. I can try to look at it that population, I'm in some ways I'm
still imagine being
helping.
on your deathbed, man, and you're like know that you
No, I know.
killed
I know.
15 million people. Like
I know.
even if there's no god or no point of anything, like Jesus, that's a lot.
Right. But, can can you can you blame the virus for being a virus? Like, if a virus is out there killing people, right? It's not the virus's fault.
A virus is an essential life form.
No, it's not. I'm saying,
You
so
know,
it's just doing what
it's
is
programmed to do.
right.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
And once this thing is set in motion, then a natural fact of me being alive is that when I orgasm, 1,000 people die. It just happens.
But
When a whale needs to eat, 1,000 krill die.
okay, there's a big difference here
No,
though.
I understand.
The virus was not given a choice at the beginning.
Look, I know.
And it can't make choices.
I know. Um so I gotta say, I think the factor that's gonna make me, oh, I think the factor that's gonna make me choose hands is, I mean, I don't want 1,000 people to die anyway, and if I can get hooks, fine. But
I
if
figured it was your hands are important because of music, so
they are, I mean, I
the
can't even
choice is
use
very hard.
I can, and I can't play video games really, and I can't type. There's like a lot I can't do.
It's feasible if you lived another 30 years, we get to a point where you don't need your hands for video games anymore.
Yep. Um, I don't like the fact that like if it was 100% random, it'd be harder to make the decision. But the fact that it's both like arguably the best of humanity when it comes to healthier genes, and so I'm killing 15,000 people who million people. Thank
By
you.
the time you die.
By the time I die, if I live to 85.
Let's say in this scenario, you also will live a long, healthy life.
Right. Where I can still
either scenario
easily orgasm at 85.
Like you'll be alive and tempted to do these things.
Sure. I mean, even if I like restrict myself, it's still probably a few million people.
I mean, even once a week, you're killing.
Right. If I just go down to once a week.
I mean, you could maybe hit once a month, but you're gonna.
So, yeah. Honestly, like, I don't ever want people to die, but I'm saying a lot of what's going into my opinion is the fact that like I'm killing really healthy people who aren't,
So it's a different answer if it's just at random?
No, I'm just saying what makes the decision easier. But part of it is also the fact that I could hurt people I know. That bothers me too. I could be.
I'm surprised that factored into it. Okay.
Sure.
I mean, I said it's not anyone you would know, though.
No, but it's someone you might know.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's somebody, somebody that somebody else that I know might know. So like, that
you could kill like all of Ian's friends in Chicago.
Right. I don't want to do that.
Right.
So
one orgasm wipes them all out.
Ian calls me up. All my friends died. I was like, in the same day? Yeah. That was me then. That was definitely me.
It's almost like someone killed them because they wanted to have hands. Like, wait, what? Yeah.
If only one person would have given up hands. How do you know this?
What deity is doing this?
I would like to think that on the other side of it, even regardless of who it was, if it was random and regardless of if I know them or not, I would still choose the hands thing. I'm just saying that it makes it easier to say, oh, definitely the hands, because somebody I know could lose somebody they know.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, God, losing the hands is tough.
It's not easy. No, it's bad, but like karmically speaking.
Yeah, sure.
It's selfish versus it's an unselfish.
I mean, it is also funny. I don't know if you factored in there, but like the hands thing also, with the jerking off. So you're like, orgasms for like a slightly less access to orgasms, presumably too.
I mean, okay, to be fair though, you live in a time where you can order shit off the internet.
Sure.
There's probably like pocket pussies that you can mount to a wall or get someone to mount to a wall for you.
I was gonna say because like it's like
silicone, you're still
silicone and the hooks just.
I assume you're still like getting married or with somebody.
Right.
No,
I understand.
Like there's that.
I'm saying if you ask this question to anyone, I'm just saying like the irony of the hands thing.
If anything, having no hands also gives you sympathy, so you can use that.
Yeah, but again, the hooks. I mean, aside from just what I can manipulate with hands, you can't touch anything anymore. Like that kind of
with
sucks.
The stumps you can.
Yeah, I guess
you basically have two giant thumbs. I mean, that's.
But it's like the difference between like
this part of your skin versus your fingers.
I'm not going to make it sexual, so I'll make it something non-sexual. The difference between like petting a dog with your hand and petting a dog with your elbow, it's like it's a different feeling for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no grasp. You have no grasp anymore.
You have no grasp, and it's number. Your fingertips are sensitive.
You brought up something earlier, though. If you choose the hands, which I think is the just and compassionate choice,
definitely, for sure,
easily,
yeah.
You might live, and I said you're going to live a long, healthy life. We're in 2020. I think in 20 years you'll be able to get a really nice set of prosthetic hands.
I think so too. I think I could get it now, but I was trying to give your scenario the benefit of the doubt that like
I mean,
I have to sacrifice something. So I
the
can't take
prosthetic
an easy
hands now
way.
can't be. They're good, but they can't be like they're good comparatively to what we used to have. You know what I mean? I
Fine.
don't think they have
They're not Luke
it's
Skywalker's
not
hands. They're not Luke.
yeah, Luke or Ash or something like groovy.
Right,
It's
right,
like
okay.
yeah, like
It's
it's not
somehow
bad.
better than a human hand.
Right, right. That's why Army of Darkness. It's like he made that in the medieval. Okay, yeah, like, how did he do that? Right.
You work at a store.
Yeah,
How do you have this knowledge?
like it takes so much surgery to attach a shitty fucking prosthetic, and he
It's
did it
fine.
in medieval times.
In like a day.
It looked like an hour, dude. It was
Right, right.
like done. Yeah. So I think you'll live to also play video games again. You'll live to do a lot of stuff
Yeah.
because the technology will follow you.
Yeah, and maybe in the meantime, I learn a little something about myself.
I mean, you're always gonna. Imagine how your mindset would be though if you started killing people with orgasms.
Oh, I know. I would
You
have
wouldn't
to
be
become
happy anymore.
a little sociopathic to justify it.
You'd
I'd
almost
have to
probably
be
get to a point where you'd be like, I'm just gonna do it all the time. Fuck it.
right.
Like it doesn't matter anymore. I'll prove it doesn't matter. Like
Right, because at that maybe my brain would go to a place where it's like 15 million or 18 million. Who gives a fuck?
yeah. It's kind of like what we're experiencing now.
Right.
What's the like? You know what I mean? Like when they announced 170,000 like 2 weeks ago and 180,000 now, like you're like, oh, it just went up by 10,000, and you don't like
Right.
if you're ignorant and stupid, you don't really think about oh, that's 10,000 human souls.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
like maybe the wake of 50,000 really distraught people.
right? Families and who knows everything. Like those are
Yeah.
people with hopes and dreams and futures that are going now,
Yeah.
and you don't realize like that small increment of the uptick is like, you know what I mean? So you
Sure.
might get there in 10 years. You might get there where you're like, I don't
Yeah.
care. I'll kill fucking 100 million. It doesn't matter.
And
You know?
it's the detachment too, the whole
Yeah.
thing where like if you were a soldier and you came back from the war and you talked about how you walked into a village and chopped somebody up with a machete, you'd be a monster. But if you talked about that you did some bombing runs where you probably killed thousands of people,
Right.
you'd be seen as less of a monster.
Well, what about the guy who like hits a button that sends a missile that's been programmed? Like
Right.
that one push. That guy's got to live with that the rest of his life, right?
Right. And it's probably, if the guy has a shitty imagination, it's probably easier to live with the button push because you didn't see anything.
Well, do you
That's
think?
horrible. I'm just saying.
I mean, this is obviously a completely stupid scenario. I know that.
Sure, sure.
But like that kind of scenario, though, it's really telling of like I think there's a lot of people that would easily choose the orgasm thing, without a doubt. You know what I mean? Like there's people like I feel like that's oddly relevant
Mm-hmm.
in these
Well, I was trying
now.
to
You know what
think.
I mean?
I was trying to think.
The
Whether
callousness.
I was trying to think like I don't think death in and of itself is inherently bad. Inherently bad. I'm not saying it doesn't have bad consequences, obviously, but like I was like, it's painless. Everybody like, is there? I was just trying to test myself if I could rationalize it in any way. These people are going to die. I'm not preventing them from dying.
They
I'm
will
just
eventually die. That's true.
for sure.
You're only shortening the span. You're shortening the life years. To use
Right,
the term from the pandemic, you're
right.
shortening the life years.
I'm not causing them pain, but I am causing people around them pain.
Yep.
So, like, the answer might be a little different if the scenario was 1,000 people blink out of existence and from the knowledge of whatever. You know what I mean? That's
Well, okay, wait a minute. Let me change one thing and see what you say then.
okay.
Same scenario, all
Okay.
the same things we've already said, except the healthy people thing, take that away. Before you have an orgasm, you have to write the full names of everyone you will target and you can target on a piece of paper.
So I cannot physically orgasm until I do this.
No, yeah, okay. If you do without writing their names down, it
It's
kills
random.
randomized good people,
Okay.
healthy good people. But
I
I'm
can
adding
target it if I
in
want to.
the like kind of the superpower almost,
Yeah.
where and it's kind of a chore if you think about it. You'd have to
I-
know of 10. You have to know 1,000 people you deem worthy of instantly dying every time.
Yeah.
That's like that's a nightmare scenario of writing shit down. Number one,
Right.
and you can't do it before. You can't like log a bunch of them. You have to like sit down beforehand, like the day before, and like write
No,
it.
no,
You know.
I can do research before, but I have to write them down like the day
You have
of.
to maybe there's like a ceremony. You go like this is the
Yeah.
piece of paper before
Yeah,
I
yeah,
orgasm,
yeah.
which I can write their names.
Right.
You know.
Well, presuming gosh, dude,
You
that's
could
tough.
clear the government out in one fucking shot.
Right, and also like if I was a person who like was hardcore into capital punishment or something, I could be like, well, just start going down prison rosters or child molester rosters or
That's a weird idea for a television show.
or I start going
like Dexter,
down,
man. It's like Dexter.
I start going down people who I know are terminal and are probably going to die within a couple of weeks.
You could do euthanasia. You could actually, if it was a TV show, you would like ingratiate yourself for a week in like the KKK and get all their names, like,
Right?
wipe them all out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
God, that's a weird ass show. Every episode ends with you jerking off, killing off.
Oh, the show's like something like death is coming. Like
or coming death.
right. Yes. Oh, God.
That's the name of the episode. Coming death.
Coming death.
God damn it.
Ooh. Man, that would take. I have to actually think way more the time than we have right now to do. I would hope I would still pick the hands just so I don't have to make those moral decisions.
1,000 is not an easy number either.
It's
not like
it's a lot of research, dude. That's a lot of fucking research.
Yeah, like you're gonna have to earn this shit.
Yeah.
Because if you just do it at willy-nilly, then it kills normal people.
I have to learn the names. I can't just write any KKK members, for example.
No, you can't just write.
I can't write all Nazis. Did I hit 1,000?
Did I hit 1,000 Nazis?
Right.
Yeah, like you have to find out their name. You have to. That's why it's a TV show. You have to infiltrate their subcultures.
I have to confirm, like Dexter, that they're like actually.
Yeah, it's Dexter, but like times 1,000 and way stupider.
Is this a 14-year-old who's just curious about Nazis, or is he a legit Nazi? I have to find out.
Dude, you can have like an episode where you like go into like a Nazi, like a neo-Nazi thing. You learn all their names, and like the end of the episode is you fucking the wife of the guy in charge of the whole thing. You know what I mean? You kill all of them by having sex with the grand wizard of the KKK, and you kill all of the KKK by fucking his wife.
She's not in the KKK, I guess. She's just cool with it.
I mean, you could put her on there, but she's gonna die.
I'll put her on the next list.
Yeah, just remember her name. Just add her to the next list, right?
Siri, remember Tabitha C. Smith.
Right. She goes on the next list. Just keep having sex with all these terrible men's wives and all the people who follow the men. God.
My name is Michael Stettes. I can't come until I name 1,000 people who have to die. I am coming.
As long as the opening is you getting on a motorcycle.
I am coming death.
It's like kung fu. Like you're just roaming the world looking for people to kill.
Eagle cry. Yeah. What does this have to do with anything?
Yeah, why is he acting all cool? I don't understand.
He's a horrible person.
Dude, the opening, it's like you putting a gun in your bike. Like, why does he have weapons?
He's not shooting anyone.
He's killing him with orgasms. What the fuck is going on?
It's like really terrible close-up slow-mo shots of like O faces and stuff. Like, why is this in the? It's horrible.
Well,
Which
yeah,
makes me think of that Key and Peele sketch where the guy has to like masturbate at the crime scene in order to see the
see its face. Yes, right. This would also you'd have to write a theme song that sort of explains what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
and how do you write a song?
No, I think it has to be all be voiceover, where you're just seeing close-ups of like my eye,
and it talks about what happened to you, like a witch or something,
right?
cursed you.
Right.
They gave you the power to kill 1,000 people every time you can.
In 2011, a wizard from Venus visited Michael Stettes, who, it's like, who posed this question.
You like accidentally went on a date with an alien and you dumped the alien. It got mad and it cursed you with the superpower. And like, what the fuck happened?
There'd have to be an episode where I just let 1,000 people die, like
by accident.
Right. Well, yeah. Like Jesus, I thought I wrote 1,000 people down, but I only wrote 999, and therefore I didn't actually meet the code, and so it's 1,000 random people instead.
Like the arc of the end of season 1 is somebody like traps you and knows your power, and then like has a machine they put you in that has sex with you.
Right, and I'm like, give me a pen, give me a pen.
No, but it like and it puts like it's a robot that puts a pen in your hand and makes you write names they want you to kill.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And at the very last minute, you use the last of your strength to write sex robot. So then when you orgasm, it kills the robot itself.
And 999 other people.
Oh, yeah, the other people. Right, but it kills the robot. And then you have to start questioning how the robot died because it wasn't a human soul. So then, like, the next season is you trying to figure out if you could just kill things, like ideas and shit.
Yeah, well, that's weird. Robot in hell.
You write what if you write communism on the piece of paper
and nobody else remembers what communism is?
No. You can get rid of concepts?
Can I write colors down?
Yeah, like what are you making?
What are the limits on this?
What if you wrote everything? What would happen?
Write everything.
It would just be in a black void, I guess. And die instantly.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
well, that's where we end this.
Yeah, that's it. Coming death.
Yep. Coming death.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be the first episode or whatever, but
Winslow should be your first episode.
Yeah, I feel like it should.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. I'm going to stop recording now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure, man.
Do you want to plug anything?
I got nothing really to plug right now, so no, that's fine.
All right.
Dixon Clade, and I was born with a curse. Every time I come, 1,000 people die. But I have a choice. Either list the names of 1,000 people and choose who dies, or list no one and 1,000 random people die. Third option, I guess, is not coming, no one dying. But let's get real. I'm gonna come, and when I do, I'll be coming death.